It's been a hell of a year, Buddha fam, but the frost is coming. It's November 4th, and for Massachusetts, this ain't bad for one single season of growth. Planted this in May. We're about to measure. Can't wait to see how big she is. Then we're gonna chop her down, snip her into some branches, and I'm gonna show you how I preserve my eucalyptus so I have some awesome bunches to put around the house and give away as gifts. So shut up, let's measure. So it looks like we are right at about 106 inches. 8 feet, 10 inches. That's pretty cool. And now we give the chop. Isn't she a beaut? And one more to take down. Look at this beautiful symmetry. Ah, it smells so good. All right, let's get trimming these up. So now that we got basically our whole eucalyptus plant cut down, I'm just gonna trim off all the branches right where they meet the main stalk. And as you're going, some of the side branches are huge. So if that's the case, they even have their own ones. So you can go ahead and trim them a little bit further. And here's what you're left with. Pretty cool, huh? Stem of a eucalyptus plant. Smells delicious. Now what you can do with these leaves is I'll just let dry out. I'll put them in a basement dark space and I'll just leave them for 10 days, 2 weeks, and then these leaves will all dry up. I'll break them off and crumble them up, and then you can use them as potpourri or put them like I got a wood stove. I like to drop it into my kettle on top. That's what you can do with the leaves that are on the main branch. She's a beauty. I love these plants. Grew all of this in 1 year, like 5 months. All right, that's a wrap. Get some nice clean stems. I'm gonna go leave these to dry out. Now we gotta go inside and preserve these. Let's head on in. All right, now we're inside, but before we start on the branches, we need to make our glycerin solution. We're gonna use glycerin so that they last a lot longer. So first thing we need to do is boil some water. When using glycerin, it's a 50% ratio. So in my case, I'm gonna do 4 cups of water right here. And now I'm gonna boil this water. And once it's boiling, I'm gonna shut the heat off, I'm gonna pour in the glycerin, and I'm gonna let that solution cool after I stir it. Then I'm gonna work my eucalyptus. And by the time I'm done with that, the solution will be cooled and ready for the branches. While the water's boiling, now we just have to take our branches and make sure that we remove any of the leaves. We want about 4 inches, 5 inches. That's a good range with no leaves. So in this case, I actually don't have to do anything. I'm gonna leave that one. But we don't want any leaves because they're just gonna rot. So if there are, we're gonna pick them off. Here's one. So not too much. So I'm just gonna pick these leaves off. Just like that. Then you should save these leaves. And then what you can do is potpourri and things like that after. So sit tight while I go through, pick off all the lower leaves. Okay, we're gonna take a break. As you can see, the water is boiling. So we'll shut this off. Now I just take the boiling water, pour it into a bigger pan because I didn't use the right size to begin with. And here we just have vegetable glycerin. So I used 4 cups of water, so I want to use 2 cups of the vegetable glycerin. I'm just going to pour it right in. And you might see some people will just add the glycerin to tap water or room temperature, which you can do, but it doesn't dissolve as well. So that's why if we just boil it first, which isn't that hard and we get plenty of time, then all of the glycerin just dissolves so easily. Now we'll let that cool while we finish up. And here's a look from my point of view. So you can see I kind of divide them up into piles, similar sizes, a large and a regular. There are all the discarded leaves I picked off that I'll use for potpourri. But now we have to smash. And so the last step before we can put these into the glycerin solution is we need to smash these stems. So normally you just put those stems in vases, but we want to smash all of this up about 3 inches, and that way the branch will absorb much more glycerin with the smashed stem. It'll enter through all those cracks that we give it. Dogs are gonna love this. There you go. You just want it to look something similar to this, where it's all smashed up. And look at all of those nice smush smash stems, ready to absorb that glycerin. Well, our bunches are done, pruned, smashed, ready for their glycerin solution. So it's had a chance to cool. And now whatever container you want to store them in, this is the one I chose. So I'm going to pour this in. Wow, I didn't spill anything. Crazy. Now, I'm just going to organize the stems and we're just going to put them in here. And there you have it. That's how to harvest and preserve your eucalyptus. So now we're just going to want to take this and put it in a dark, dry area. It's about 50 degrees. And this is going to sit for about 2 weeks minimum, but upwards of 4 or 5 weeks if you can, but a minimum of 2 weeks. And that way this will absorb all of that glycerin, really preserve the freshness and the softness of these leaves. And you can just dry eucalyptus other ways. You can just cut it and dry it. That's the most fragrant, but it's going to lose its fragrance in a few days and dry and get all crispy, probably a week. It's something you're cutting every week, really. It's that fresh. The only way to keep this nice soft texture of the eucalyptus is really the glycerin, which kind of just locks it all in. But I will say, if you're going to hang it in the shower, just fresh cut it and hang it right over that shower head. Nothing like it. That heat, that steam brings out that smell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.